Let's get straight to the point. You've noticed something strange lately, haven't you? That song that shows up exactly when you need it most. That unexpected encounter that couldn't possibly be random. That thought that appears in your mind and a second later someone else says it out loud. And you tell yourself it's just coincidence, that you're looking for patterns where there are none, that your mind is playing tricks on you. But there's something in you that can't help wondering, what if it's not a coincidence? What if the universe is speaking to you and you're too asleep to hear it? Most people go their entire lives ignoring these signs. They come face to face with them and dismiss them as statistical anomalies, as quirks of chance, and meanwhile, they keep dragging themselves through an existence that feels empty, disconnected, meaningless. Do you know why? Because they're living from the wrong place. They're trapped in the mind, in that constant chatter that never shuts up, in that voice that analyzes, judges, interprets, and destroys every moment before you can even live it. Eckhart Tolle says it bluntly, you are not your mind. You are the consciousness that observes the mind. And right there lies the difference between living asleep and waking up. Synchronicities are not magic. They're not the universe playing with you like you're some kind of puppet. They're evidence of something much deeper, that there is an intelligence operating beyond your compulsive thinking. An intelligence that doesn't need your analysis, your logic, your fear. But here's the problem. The mind cannot access it. The mind can only conceptualize, fragment, separate. The mind turns everything into past or future, into problems or solutions, into me and not me. The mind is a prison, and synchronicities are the cracks in its bars. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you been so lost in thought that you missed your subway stop? How many times have you walked an entire street without remembering anything you saw? That's not living, that's existential sleepwalking. You're so trapped in the narrative your mind creates that you miss real life. And real life only happens now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, and when you finally manage to step out of the mental prison, even for an instant, you start noticing what was always there, the perfect synchronicity of existence. Do you know what's most ironic? You spend years chasing answers, looking for signs, begging for a clear direction. And when they finally appear, your mind dismisses them. It labels them as coincidences because accepting that something greater is at work terrifies you. Why? Because if you accept that an intelligence exists beyond your mental control, then you have to let go of control. And the ego cannot stand that. The ego needs to be in charge, needs to believe that you are the one driving. But here's the brutal truth. You never were. Your mind is like a passenger shouting instructions from the back seat, while something else, something much deeper, has been driving the whole time. Synchronicities are not rare events reserved for mystics or enlightened beings. They happen constantly. The problem is that you're so identified with mental noise that you can't see them. It's like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a storm. The storm is your mind, that endless flow of thoughts about what happened, what might happen, what you should do, what you shouldn't have done. That noise keeps you blind, and as long as you're blind, life will feel like a series of random, disconnected events, a meaningless chaos. But there's another level, a level where everything is connected, where every encounter, every word, every moment has a perfect coherence. Not because there's some master plan designed specifically for you, that's more ego nonsense, but because when you step out of the mind, you start flowing with life instead of resisting it. And when you flow, things simply align. Not because you're aligning them, but because you stop getting in the way. Here's what nobody tells you. Resistance is the root of your suffering. Every time you say, "This shouldn't be happening," you're at war with reality. And guess what? Reality always wins. Always. Your mind can protest, can spin narratives about how unfair everything is, but reality doesn't flinch. Reality is. And synchronicities appear when you finally stop fighting and start accepting what is. Not resignation, not passivity, but a deep acceptance of the present moment exactly as it is. Tolle puts it clearly, now is the only thing that exists. The past is a ghost in your memory. The future is a projection of your anxiety. But you live trapped between both, between resentment for what was and fear of what will be. Meanwhile, life is unfolding here, in this instant, and you're missing it. How many moments of beauty, connection, and clarity have you ignored because you were too busy thinking? The honest answer would break you. Synchronicities are life telling you, wake up, pay attention, you're here. But most people don't listen. Most people are so addicted to mental drama that they'd rather keep suffering than let go of control. Because letting go of control means facing something terrifying, that you don't know anything. That your entire constructed identity, all your stories about who you are, all your beliefs are just that, stories. And when the stories collapse, what's left? The fear is that nothing remains, but the truth is the opposite. Everything remains. Now here's the part your mind hates. You cannot look for synchronicities. You cannot force them. They are not a goal to achieve or a state to reach. The more you chase them, the further away they get. Why? Because seeking is a function of the ego, of the mind that wants, that desires, that needs. And synchronicities only appear when there is space between thoughts, space in your attention, space in your being. That space is called presence, and presence cannot be thought, it can only be being. So how do you get there? By stopping the attempt, by ceasing to run toward the future or relive the past, by bringing your attention to the now, to your breath, to the sensations in your body, to the sound of traffic, to the light coming through the window. Not as a mental exercise, not as a technique to achieve something, but as a return home, to the only reality that exists, this moment. And when you do that, something shifts, not dramatically, no fireworks or mystical visions, though sometimes they happen, but there's a subtle change in frequency. It's like tuning into a radio station that has always been broadcasting, but you've never picked up. And on that frequency, you start noticing things. The conversation you overhear exactly when you need it. The book that falls off the shelf and contains precisely what you needed to read. The person who shows up in your life at the exact right moment. Not because the universe is sending you personalized messages, but because you're finally awake enough to receive them. Here's the twist. Synchronicities were always there. They don't appear more when you're present. You just finally see them. It's like walking through a city at night. With your eyes closed, you stumble over everything. With your eyes open, you move effortlessly. Your mind is the closed eyes. Presence is opening them. And what you see when you finally open your eyes takes your breath away. Everything is perfectly orchestrated, not by some invisible conductor, but by the very nature of existence. But then comes the resistance. Your mind says, "This sounds nice, but it's not practical. I have to think to survive. I have to plan, analyze, solve problems." And yes, there is a place for thinking. But 98% of your thinking is garbage. It's repetitive, useless, toxic. It's the same mental loop playing over and over, draining your energy, clouding your perception, keeping you trapped in an invisible cage. Tolle says something brutal. Most people are possessed by their minds. They live as puppets of their own thoughts, believing they're free when they're completely enslaved. And the worst part is they don't even know it, because the most effective prison is the one you cannot see. And your mind has built a masterpiece. It convinced you that it is you, that its fears are your fears, that its desires are your desires, that its stories are your reality. But none of that is true. Want proof? Observe a thought. Don't think it. Observe it. Notice how it appears out of nowhere, lingers for a moment, and dissolves. Who is observing it? It can't be the thought observing itself. That's impossible. So there is something else, something that exists before the thought, beyond the thought. That is consciousness. That is you, not the thinker, but the space in which the thought appears. And when you realize that, even for a second, everything changes, because from that space, synchronicities aren't miracles, they're the norm. They are the natural functioning of a life lived from consciousness instead of mind. From there, you don't need to force things. You don't need to control every outcome. You can act with intention, yes, but without clinging to the result. You can move through life with a confidence that doesn't come from knowing what will happen, but from knowing that whatever happens, you will be fine, because you're not identified with the outcomes. You're rooted in something deeper. And here's the final paradox. When you stop seeking synchronicities, they appear everywhere. When you stop seeking meaning, you find it. When you stop seeking answers, answers reveal themselves. Not because the universe rewards you for surrendering, but because you finally stepped out of the way. You finally let life flow through you instead of trying to dominate it. Life is not a problem to be solved. It's a mystery to be experienced. But the mind turns everything into a problem. It turns every moment into something to fix, improve, change. And in that process, you miss the magic of now, the magic of being alive, the magic of simply being. Without an agenda, without a purpose, without needing anything to be different from what it is. That is not resignation, that is freedom. And when you touch that freedom, even for an instant, you understand something fundamental. You are never separate from anything. Separation is an illusion created by the mind. You and life are not two things. You are life manifesting as this particular form, and everything else, every person, every tree, every star, is also life, the same consciousness expressing itself in infinite shapes. And from that understanding, synchronicities stop being surprising, because everything is connected. Everything is a synchronicity. So here's the challenge. Stop seeking, stop waiting, stop resisting. Bring your attention to now, to this exact moment. Don't think it, feel it. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the stillness beneath the noise. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Just be present. And from there, watch how life begins to reveal itself in ways your mind could never imagine. Because life is more intelligent than you. It always has been. And when you finally surrender to that intelligence, when you stop trying to control it and simply move with it, you discover something extraordinary. It has been guiding you all along. Every step, every fall, every moment of confusion. Everything was part of the path. There were no mistakes. There were no coincidences. Only synchronicities you couldn't see because you were too busy thinking. So wake up, not tomorrow, not when you find the perfect answer. Now. Because this moment, this exact one, is the only synchronicity that truly matters. And if you miss it while chasing the next one, you miss everything. If this video stirred something in you, if it made you question even for a second the way you've been living, then don't let it pass. Subscribe to the channel, not for me, but for you, because every video I upload is designed to shake you awake, to pull you out of the mental sleep in which most people are trapped. You won't find entertainment here, you'll find uncomfortable truths you need to hear. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join those who have decided to awaken. See you in the next video.